Picture.
At some point here, everybody's going to have to drink water. It's an important part of our daily life, our community. Us here, at least most of us who are going to be going to college or taking this course, we can go to the kitchen, to a canteen, to a lunch hall, or anywhere like that, and we can get one of the most important chemicals known to man delivered to us. Not a problem. But when we drink that, do we ever actually think about where it comes from, or do we stop for just a moment to think, is this really safe for us to drink? Water is a crucial part of the modern urban environment. It saves lives, it gives life, and without it, you'll have no life. Um, there's a large part about clean water that people don't understand. There's a lot that goes into cleaning it, to making sure that it's able for us to be drunk on a daily basis. Now, there are parts of the world that you can just pull water up out of the ground and drink, but that's very small, and really, when you think about it, in the grand scheme of things, it's not enough. This topic should be important to you as it's important to me because, again, it affects us on a daily basis, and it's life. Water is life. I mean, it's really that simple. Just so you know, I've been a water treatment plant operator for 12 years. I dedicate my life to this. It's something I do on a daily basis. It's something I find important. So I thought I would share the information with you and see if it was something that you could chew on and maybe find important. So now first we're going to go over water treatment practices, steps, processes, things that are done to treat the water. Now, to go over the first point, this comes directly from the Introduction to Drinking Water. Chlorination comes from the purpose of treating drinking water. It's a journal. You can look it up online. But what they say is the treatment and distribution of water for the safe use is one of the greatest achievements of the 20th century. Before cities began routinely treating drinking water with chlorine, malaria, typhoid, dysentery, and hepatitis killed thousands of U.S. residents annually. Those are just a few of the many diseases that come with untreated drinking water. There are many out there. They'll hurt you. They kill many people on a daily basis. Around the world, they kill thousands of people on a daily basis. And it's stuff that most of us probably don't think about almost ever. Now, just in the United States annually, from treating drinking water, lives are saved by the thousands per day. Statistically speaking, I don't know the numbers right offhand, but again, you can go and look it up. The name of it is The Purpose of Drinking Water, and the Introduction to Drinking Water, Chlorination, a Review of Disinfection Practices. Look that up online. It'll take you right there. You can go ahead and I'll probably go ahead and at the end of this video I'll insert these references so you can look this stuff up yourself. Now, the next area that I'd like to go into is a little bit about water conservation. This is not supposed to be something that I'm trying to make you want to do. So I'm just going to go a little bit over water conservation with you, what it is, and some things that people do. Now, according to globalchange.edu, only 1% of the world's fresh water is accessible for direct human use. This is the water found in lakes, rivers, reservoirs, and those underground sources that are shallow enough to be tapped at an affordable cost. Only this amount is regularly renewed by rain and snowfall and is therefore available on a sustainable basis. That being said, there are a few types of water conservation that some individuals, corporations, and government use, such as low flow devices and not watering all the things you hear about on TV. You don't water your grass on certain days. You don't water your grass during the hottest part of the day. You don't water your grass when it's raining. Little things, but these little things add up to make a really big difference. Now, there are some advantages to conserving water. Monetary savings is a big one, especially when it comes to municipalities and stuff like that. It's a way to save money for you, the individual who's buying it, for the people who are making it. Um, the water that's regenerated underground stays better, stays fresher. So again, it doesn't take as much to treat, and you're able to have a better drinking water standards, a higher standard of drinking water. And it also keeps the pollution in the watersheds down. And the watersheds, of course, are those areas like rivers, lakes, streams that we can pull water from to treat water. Um, One of the last points I'm going to go over here is how the main thing of how water conservation can affect water treatment. In an interview with Colonel Ray Alexander, Army Corps of Engineers, he stated that we have taken a clean, abundant supply of groundwater for granted, and we now recognize its precious resource that could become critically scarce. The overuse of water, just using water too much, for whatever people are using water for, we didn't used to think about it like we do now. It does have a few adverse side effects, such as, I don't know if y'all remember, a few years ago, Georgia was in a really big drought. They had no water to drink, the fish were dying, the mussels were dying, yada, 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 all that good stuff. Another thing that happens is when you pull too much water out of the ground and it's not being replaced by the rain and runoff and stuff like that, is you're going to start pulling more water in from surrounding oceans, especially if you're in a community, which I don't remember the statistic, but like 90% of America all live next to the water or next to an ocean. But you start pulling in ocean water, which creates chlorides in your drinking water. Once you get those chlorides and they get so high, it becomes so much more expensive to treat the water, because you've got to take those chlorides out. You've got to, and then once you get the chlorides, not only do you have to take the chlorides out, but it becomes harder to treat the diseases that are in the water while you're trying to treat the chlorides. And sometimes they get so bad that you just can't use those wells anymore, and you have to go to different areas to pull water. One of the main areas everyone's looking at now is ocean water. Well, with the salt content in ocean water, it costs 5 times more for anywhere to treat ocean water, which, nowhere is really going to eat that cost, so that cost is going to come back to you. Another thing that they're doing, which I can't say is a bad thing, but when I think of it, it's kind of disgusting, is they're turning sewage water or wastewater into drinking water. They're building those plants now. There's one being built in Mexico. There's another in California. And though most likely they're not going to let the water go if it's not safe, I don't know if I can wrap my mind around drinking wastewater. It's a little awkward to me. But, so just, to go over it again, water is one of those really important things. It's one of the most important chemicals in the world. Life-saving. It means something to you. It means something to me. Just, something to chew on. And, as a parting thought, I really enjoyed sharing the information I know and some of the stuff that I deal with on a daily basis with the rest of y'all. And I hope that, again, it's something that maybe later on down the road you'll think about. And, I don't know, just see if you like it. Thank you.